Medusa, a prominent figure in Greek mythology, is often misunderstood and associated with being a fearsome and merciless creature. However, her true identity and how she came to be portrayed as a villain are often overlooked. Medusa's story is one of tragedy. Her fate was not of her own choosing, and she was doomed to a life of isolation and fear. According to the story, Medusa was born on the island of Sarpedon as the daughter of the primordial sea deities, Perseus and Ceto. Although she had two sisters, she was the only mortal among them, making her subject to the laws of nature and the unpredictable will of the gods. Medusa's beauty was renowned across the land, captivating the hearts of many suitors. Despite the numerous offers, she chose to devote herself entirely to the goddess Athena, forsaking any male attention and committing herself to a life of celibacy as one of Athena's priestesses. Initially, Medusa enjoyed a peaceful life despite her remarkable beauty, which even aroused some envy from the goddess Athena herself. She found contentment in serving at the temple and performing her humble duties. However, things took a drastic turn when the god Poseidon became infatuated with her. It is uncertain whether Poseidon was drawn to Medusa's exquisite beauty or saw her as an opportunity to undermine his rival, Athena. But regardless, he pursued her relentlessly. Various versions of the myth exist, some suggesting that Medusa was lured by Poseidon's charm and chose to abandon her allegiance to Athena in favor of her love for Poseidon. The prevalent version of the story suggests that Medusa remained devoted to Athena and was violated by Poseidon against her will, despite being an innocent victim. Medusa sought help and comfort from Athena, only to be rejected and condemned by the goddess. Athena held Medusa solely responsible for the heinous deed and punished her by transforming her into a monstrous creature. Her once beautiful hair was now a venomous nest of snakes, and her hands were replaced with bronze claws while wings grew out of her back. In her monstrous form, Medusa was endowed with the dreadful ability to petrify anyone who looked into her eyes. Despite the best efforts of her sisters to defend her, Athena's wrath knew no bounds, and they too suffered the same fate as Medusa, transformed into monstrous gorgons. Medusa's pain and anger grew with each passing day as she struggled to reconcile with the injustice that had befallen her at the hands of Poseidon, the man who had taken everything from her. Betrayed by the goddess Athena, whom she had worshipped and served all her life. Medusa's once pure heart now overflowed with bitterness and hatred. She was no longer pursued by men for her beauty, but instead was hunted as a trophy, a monster to be slain. As Medusa's legend and notoriety continued to spread, she remained an elusive and deadly foe to all who dared to face her, until one hero emerged who was different from all the rest. Perseus possessed an aura that set him apart from other hunters. He was a demigod, the son of Zeus himself. After his victory over Medusa, Perseus was hailed as a hero and his legend grew. He continued to face many trials and challenges, but with the aid of the gifts he received from the gods, he was able to overcome them all. His most famous exploit was using the head of Medusa to turn the giant Polydex to stone and freeing his mother from his clutches. Perseus would go down in history as one of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology, his name forever associated with courage, cunning, and divine favor. Medusa has become one of the most well-known creatures in mythology, but as we have seen, she is also one of the most misunderstood. In the most common version of the story, Medusa's only crime was the blind loyalty she showed to the gods, who once again revealed their own irreverence for the laws of right and wrong that they enforce so fervently upon their followers. The myth of Medusa has many potential interpretations, many of which remain relevant even in the modern world. What is clear, however, is that the legend of Medusa, beauty and innocence transformed into anger and hate, is one that has always captured the imagination of thinkers, and will continue to do so for many years to come.